not about working out at the gym, but today is all about weight loss, hormones, and especially if you are in your 30s, especially late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Those are the type of women that I work with mostly. And there's two things that we're really going to focus on that you cannot leave out in your weight loss journey, especially if you got hormone issues, okay? And just so you girls know, you are so not alone. We have, it's like a crazy rate right now of women that have hormone issues. 88% actually of adults right now have metabolic issues, okay? So you're not alone. More women have hormone issues than don't have hormone issues. And we kind of just been taught that you have to live with it, right? Like, oh, it's just perimenopause, it's just menopause, it's just my thyroid, it's just PMS, it's just PCOS, it's just cortisol, and we're just supposed to live with it, right? No, we're not, okay? I'm going to give you guys tools today on this live stream that's going to help reverse it. And this is not just theory, this is not textbook knowledge, this is something I have had to do in myself, and this is something I do like clockwork with the women in my community, all ages, all right? So you guys are in the right place. Let's start off there. How do you know if you actually have hormone issues? I'm gonna give you guys some signs, okay? So, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a mom of 4. I had major hormone issues. I went through a massive loss a few years ago, lost my late husband to colon cancer. I was an RN, I worked in internal medicine. So I worked with a lot of end stage people that were dying from things like diabetes and organ failure and a lot of stuff that now I get to work on preventing. That's my mission. So now I'm happily remarried, you know, living my best life. And so now everything I do is very mission driven. And the number one thing that I do and I help women with, like the thing that just gets me so excited to get out of bed, besides being with my amazing husband and kids, is helping women who feel so stuck and so frustrated and so ashamed because they can't lose the weight, or because they're still in the same relationship issues, or they're still having the same money stress, and they're exhausted. A lot of them are single moms, and they don't know how to get out of that situation. And that was me. So everything I do, the two main areas I focus on personally and I help women in is the area of energetics and in the area of strategy, because you need both. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep going through the same pattern of dieting, trying to work harder, and then giving up. Most of them get frustrated, give up, or they're stuck on medications that they hate, or they're stuck eating foods and diets that they hate, or they just feel really bad about themselves, and then they avoid it. Okay, so let's just go back. Thank you guys for the likes and love, because this gets this live stream out to more people. Okay, so thank you guys for the likes and love on here, because we need to get this message out to more people. So let's start off with, how do you know you actually have hormone issues? Because you could be in your 20s, 30s, doesn't matter, right? But people, what I've noticed is women, once you kind of get close to that 40 mark, is when you start caring about your hormones, because you're like, how come all of a sudden all the weight is here and it wasn't before? Is that anyone? Let me know in the comments. Those are the girls that usually come to me. They're like, Natasha, I don't understand. I'm not doing anything differently. Or I'm working out. I'm intermittent fasting. You know, I'm dieting. And all my weight is right here. So that's one sign that you have hormone issues, babe. You're not crazy. Okay? You are literally speaking to my soul. Yes, and I am speaking to your soul, because you are not alone. Like, there's patterns that show up with women our age, and I understand them so well, which is why I'm able to have such amazing success with the women in my programs, because I understand. I can articulate what you're struggling with better than you can articulate it. And that was me too, where I couldn't articulate some of the stress and the issues I was going through. I just didn't know how to articulate it. Like, I wasn't walking around saying like, oh, this is my nervous system that's dysregulated. Like, oh, I'm in my masculine energy. Like, that's not stuff that we ever were taught, right? So you can't articulate it. but I'm going to help you. Anyway, so sign number one that you have hormone issues is you got the stubborn belly fat. You got stubborn weight. Okay, so maybe you've tried dieting, you've tried intermittent fasting, you've tried working out, you tried calorie counting. I don't believe in any of those things, by the way, because they just don't work for women our age long term, all right? But you've got the stubborn belly fat. Another thing, a girl mentioned, low libido. Low libido. So libido, you guys know what your libido is. I don't have to explain what that is. But that's not something you just have to live with, okay? And this is another thing that we've kind of normalized, but how many of you know if you're in a marriage, having low libido is going to cause marriage stress? Yes? Let me know in the comments. We're having real talk today, girl chat. That's why Brian's not here. We're having some real chat right now. All the uncomfortable, all the uncomfortable topics is what we're going to be talking about today. Okay? You guys, I love you. I'm trying not to get distracted by the comments. Let me just focus on I appreciate all of you guys so much though. Okay, so low libido, high cortisol levels. So maybe you have diagnosed high cortisol. Maybe you don't know if you have high cortisol. Some signs of that too is a puffiness in the face, bloating issues, trouble sleeping. Maybe you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't fall back asleep. Is that anyone? Trouble sleeping at night is a huge one, especially if you wake up around 2 or 3 o'clock every night. Does anyone struggle with that? Let me know in the comments. Anxiety is a huge one. Stress and anxiety, and that's something that we've been taught that we just have to live with, or just go take some antidepressants. No, we don't have to live like that. I'm going to show you how to reverse it. Okay? What are some other hormone issues? Cravings, late night cravings. Does anyone have late night cravings? That's another thing. All the above so far, yes. Okay, so we got puffy face, we got bloating, we have cravings, we have trouble sleeping at night, we have low libido, we have perimenopause issues, right? So perimenopause, hot flashes, fatigue, brain fog, hard time focusing. Is that anyone? Or was that just me? Okay, and I was struggling with this in my early 30s, okay? All these things. Gut issues is a huge one. Someone's like hormonal acne. Baby girl, I struggled with hormonal acne most of my life. So hormone acne is a huge one. If you're an adult, even if you're a kid, but as an adult, you should not have acne, okay? And yes, it's a hormone issue. I had major acne literally my entire life. My entire life. And it's something that I don't have at all anymore, and I did not use medications to reverse it. Guess what it was? Hormone and gut, right? All these symptoms I have, yes. So instead of ignoring these symptoms, we're going to reverse them, all right? So there's two things that we're going to focus on, and this is things that I work on with my girls in my Feminine Energy Academy. By the way, we are doing a 90-day glow up challenge right now. In the community, we just started this week. If you want to jump in with us, it's a 90-day cortisol detox and hormone weight loss challenge. Or if you want to gain weight, like you want to gain some muscle, that can work too. You want to lose the belly fat, grow some muscle, get your hormones in check, jump into the community. I'm sure my team is going to post the link there for you, or you can check out the link in the bio, okay? And we go over the intermittent fasting, the foods, the hormones, the inner healing, a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about today. Okay, but I know some people have to leave, so I just wanted to put that out there for you guys. So, two things we got to work on. And the second one is really not that obvious, so make sure you stay on this live stream so you can hear the second one. It's the one thing that is overlooked the most and will make the biggest difference in losing weight. That has nothing to do with gyms or diets, okay? And I see it all the time. So the first thing is a little bit more obvious, and that's your hormones. That's what we're talking about, right? So if you try to lose weight, but you're totally ignoring your hormones, it's not going to work. It's going to feel like an uphill battle. That's why you'll see a lot of men, and like no shade to men, we love men, thank God for men, all that stuff. But that's why you'll hear a lot of men talk about, oh, you just need to do calorie restrictions. And even women will talk like this too that don't understand hormones. You just need to do calorie restrictions. You just need to work harder. And you're like, no, it's not that. I never used to get all this weight here. Now I do. Babe, it's your hormones, okay? So things like estrogen and progesterone and cortisol and insulin, these are master hormones. And then guess where? If those are out of balance, guess where you start storing fat, ladies? Right here in the belly. Okay, so it's not only hormone issues and weight gain, but it's where you're storing the fat. And why do we care about belly fat? Because I know a lot of people will be like, oh, stop being superficial, like, love your body the way it is. Yes, I love my body and I want you to love your body, but I also want you to be alive. I also want you to be healthy. I also want you to feel good, not only for yourself, but in your marriage or in your dating life, or so you can be around for your kids and your grandbabies. How many people want to be around for the kids and their grandbabies, right? So put some comments down below. Give me some likes and loves and affirm this right now. Like, yes, I'm worthy enough and I want to take care of my body. I want to feel good in my body and my energy and my mood so I can feel good in my love life. I can feel good running around with my kids and my grandbabies, and I have energy to go and do what I want to do, right? Like, we're just like taught, like we're like fed this narrative of, just accept how you are, stressed out, no energy, brain fog, all this stubborn belly fat that you feel like you're weighed down emotionally and physically, and you're just supposed to like go on with life with a smile on your face. Right? And it's like, no, you don't have to do that. You can actually feel good, okay? So your hormones control not only how your body processes calories and burns fat or stores it, but it also controls your mood. It also controls your energy, babe. It also controls how you focus. This is why so many women struggle with anxiety and even depression, because they feel so bad about themselves and they're like, I'm trying to do what people are telling me to do and it's not working, right? So I'm a little bit passionate about this because I understand. And then what happens is they get into this cycle of shame and they just hide and they just give up and they think, I just have to live like this, right? Thank you guys for the rose and the love. Okay, so a couple things you can do with your hormones, especially if you're over 40, okay? Like, we can't ignore our hormones, babe. You shouldn't be ignoring your hormones if you're in your 20s at all. Like, you don't have to suffer through PMS like I did in my 20s and like so many other women did, because they just tell you just take birth control. No, you don't have to live like that, babe. Okay? But especially, babe, if you're 40s, 50s, 60s, you really cannot neglect your hormones. Did you guys know that your hormones are now considered your 5th vital sign? I know no one talks about this, but this makes such a difference on how you feel and your actual health. Okay? Man, there's so much I want to teach you girls. I'm trying to stay focused here. But the biggest thing I want you to catch is don't neglect your hormones, okay? So some simple things you can do, and I talk this lots on my channels and my videos and in my Feminine Energy Academy, is intermittent fasting. That's something simple you can do. Now, you're not going to overfast at all either, because that can cause more stress to your hormones. We're not starving ourselves and we're not fasting like men who are built hormonally different than women. Okay, we're not doing that. But just being a little bit more aware of when you're eating, why you're eating, and just the timing of your eating will make such a difference. Okay, and so there's 2 real main hormones that I focus on with any woman that comes and works with me or joins any of my programs, and those 2 main hormones are insulin and cortisol. And I want you girls to get really familiar with these 2 hormones, because those are the hormones, they're called master hormones. So they actually control and they influence everything else for you. So not only do they influence where you store fat, but they influence your progesterone levels, your estrogen levels, your thyroid. Those are the most important hormones for how you look and feel. Okay? Are you guys catching with me so far? Let me just check in with you really quick. Just joined. Okay, just joined. What about always being hungry? I feel the that all the time? Okay, that's a great question. I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to answer all your hormone questions, and then we're going to get into the second one that I want you girls to know because it's so important. Okay? I just don't know where to start. Okay. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let's talk about emotional eating, or it's not even emotional eating. It's if you're always hungry. Let's talk about if you're always hungry and where to start. Okay? And what vitamins should we make sure we're having? Oh, Liz. What's up, Liz? Shout out to Liz. Liz has already lost 13 pounds in my programs, okay? So if you're always hungry, here's one thing that might be causing that from a hormonal level, okay? So if you're eating food first thing in the morning, you're not fasting, or you're not having proteins and fibers, you're just kind of eating pastries, or you're having your coffee with cream and sugar, you know, lattes, stuff like that, what's happening is your insulin is going up. So when you eat or drink anything, it spikes your insulin, it spikes your blood sugar, and it spikes your insulin. This is blood sugar, this is insulin, okay? We're gonna have some biology class real quick. Blood sugar goes up, insulin goes up, right? And then guess what happens? Insulin crashes, right? So then your blood sugar is crashing, and then you feel hungry. And then you go and you have a quick snack, or you're grazing, and then your insulin goes up again. And then it crashes, and it's up and down, up and down, up and down all day long. And what happens is it makes you more hungry, first of all, and it makes you tired. It makes you crave junk food. It gives you brain fog. And eventually, over time, babe, it's going to cause something called insulin resistance. Have you guys heard of insulin resistance? And then insulin resistance leads to, guess what? Diabetes, okay? That's why we have so many people right now that are pre-diabetic and diabetic. A lot of them don't even know. A lot of them do not know, okay? Can you give a typical day plan for eating times? Yes, I can definitely do that. And by the way, I have eating plans and hormone fat burning plans in the Feminine Energy Academy, okay? In our 90-day cortisol and hormone weight loss program as well. We got to keep things simple and easy, otherwise I know you're not going to stick to it. All right? So that's the biggest thing, is that your blood sugar is all over the place. That's why you're constantly hungry. So once we stabilize your blood sugar, which is actually not very hard to do, you're not going to feel hungry all the time. You're actually, most of the girls that I work with don't feel hungry at all, and the weight just falls off. Like actually just falls off. So I just did a video recently where I talked about some of the little tricks that I teach the girls in my programs. So things like incorporating bone broth. Have you guys heard of bone broth? Bone broth is full of so many vitamins and minerals that are really good for your hormones and will help you get more protein into your diet. So one thing I teach my girls in my programs is you want to try to aim for about 30 grams at least every time you eat. 30 grams of protein every time you eat. Okay, that in itself is going to make a huge difference for you. You also want to be incorporating more fiber. Not only is that going to help with your gut health, but it's going to help stabilize your blood sugar levels. Okay, another simple thing to do if you want to get started, and this is like such a huge game changer, not only for me, but so many women I work with, is including adaptogens. Have you guys heard of adaptogens? I keep hearing bone broth. This is confirmation to include my diet. Yeah, Ray, I literally just did a whole video on this. It's something simple because us busy women, especially if you're a mom, you're a business owner, we're busy. We don't have time to be doing 10-step meal prep programs, right? Like that's who my audience is. Maybe for other people that are doing bodybuilding, like that's amazing. But if you're running a household, you got multiple kids, you're running businesses, you have a husband who's hungry, like you just don't have time to be doing these like 10-step meal prep programs, right? You don't, right? So for the women in my community, we need simple, easy, like I don't need another decision to make, right? Those are my people. So I'm like, okay, what can I do that's simple and easy? I'm not going to count calories. I'm not going to kill myself at the gym for 2 hours a day because my kids are in sports. But I still want to look good. So what do? So what I teach my girls is simple things like intermittent fasting, things like including bone broth, things like including adaptogens, right? And I'm going to get to your girls' questions in a second. I love you. Keep posting them. I'm going to include adaptogens. So adaptogens are plants, herbs, that have been used for generations in traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine. So they've been around for thousands of years. And they help the body adapt to stress at a hormonal level. That's the simplest way to explain adaptogens. So you guys have probably heard of some adaptogens like ashwagandha, right? Maca, rhodiola, ginseng, holy basil, curcumin or turmeric. Those are all really well researched, science-based. Like you can go on PubMed.com and actually look at credible research on the benefits of any of those adaptogens I just mentioned and how they help balance your hormones. Of course, they can't promote it because you can't patent adaptogens, right? So that's why you don't hear a lot of people talking about them, but they're well researched. So simple things, including more protein, include more fiber, and include some adaptogens. That in itself is going to make such a difference for your hormones. All right, include some intermittent fasting. Speaking of water, and drink lots of water. One more thing on cortisol and adaptogens. Website, Adora.com. Adora.com has adaptogens, or if you go in the link in my bio, I have a 90-day hormone weight loss program where I outline everything for you. We do the stomach vacuuming, we do the body shaping, but we also do the fat and belly loss. We help balance out your cortisol levels. We help with the emotional eating, the cravings, the sleep issues, the libido, all of that. And the link is in the bio for that. Okay, that's in my Feminine Energy Academy. All right. I love your dress. Thank you. Okay, so one more thing on adaptogens. And then I want to get into point 2 because point 2 is actually the biggest game changer in my experience with women that are stuck with their weight. And it actually has nothing, well, it does have stuff to do with your hormones, but it's in addition to the hormone issue, okay? So the next thing is cortisol. Have you guys heard of cortisol? Let me know in the comments if you've heard of cortisol. It's kind of a buzzword now. So cortisol is another master hormone. It's a stress hormone. We need cortisol. Cortisol is a good thing, just like we need insulin. But here's a problem that most women have, okay? Is most of us are super stressed. We're just high functioning, highly stressed people, right? You know, because you're running businesses, you have financial stress, you have relationship stress, maybe dating or marriage stress, situationship stress. I know you girls, so I know it's stressing you out. You're not sleeping properly, and you're running around like a crazy lady, right? Running after kids, running businesses, all that stuff. And guess what happens? Your cortisol always is spiked. And it's okay to have a spiked cortisol temporarily, but most people are on computers, on their phones, and they're not releasing that cortisol, that stress. And so it stays elevated. And what that does, it has a ripple effect on your other hormones. Like, did you guys know that having elevated cortisol actually tanks your progesterone levels? Do you guys know that? Do you know that actually spikes your insulin and your blood sugar, causing more cravings? Did you know that having high cortisol all the time actually keeps your body stuck in survival mode? So guess what, like just think logically for a second, right? Like we're tribal beings. We're a species that used to live in tribes. The men would go out and hunt, the women would stay back, right? So if there was a war happening or we were threatened or, you know, the thought of not having enough food, we were in survival mode, right? Which was just temporary for most people. But for us now, you know, with work and phone and relationship stress and money stress, what happens is our nervous system and our hormones are always in survival mode. And we don't realize it because we've normalized it as a society. So then what happens is, not only do your hormones break down and your body starts to break down, and it's the number one thing that will make you look older faster and age your genes faster, but it actually causes your body to store belly fat because you've signaled to your hormones, we might be going into a famine. I need to hold on to fat. I need to hold on to weight. I need to actually slow my metabolism down. I need to take all the minerals, vitamins, minerals from my bones and eat away my bones and muscles and use it for energy. That's what you've signaled to your body when you're constantly in stress mode. Okay, so also what it's going to do is it's going to cause you to be more hungry. So you're going to have more junk food cravings. Why? Because you're craving high calorie foods. Because you've signaled to your hormones that you're about to starve to death, even though you're not. Is this making sense? Let me know in the comments if this is like your entire life is like making sense now, why you feel the way you do. Okay, and I'm going to get to you guys' questions in a second. Love your questions. Yes, total sense. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so what do we do with the cortisol? I'm trying to make things real simple for you. Okay, so just think cortisol, stress, we need to stabilize that. Once we stabilize that, guess what's going to happen? The weight's going to come off. You're not going to be craving food all the time. Your libido is going to go back up, because if your cortisol levels are high, your libido is going to tank. Why? Because it's not a time to reproduce. Why would you reproduce if a tiger is chasing you, right? Okay, this is going to help reverse the perimenopause symptoms as well. So we need to retrain your hormones that you're safe, and your nervous system that you're safe, okay? So a couple things that will help with your cortisol is, one is just getting proper rest. I know that seems like a common knowledge, simple answer, but it's actually often the simple things that we need that we avoid, right? Just actually getting some rest, actually eating properly, actually self-care, self-love, taking care of yourself. And then on a supplement level, the best supplements to help stabilize cortisol, you guys, one is ashwagandha. So this is backed by science, not my opinion, is ashwagandha. Make sure you get a good quality ashwagandha. I personally have an organic ashwagandha blend with a black pepper, so it's just more bioavailable. It's such a game changer for women that are over 40, that struggle with perimenopause and menopause symptoms, and also even my younger girls, okay? And then the second thing is you just need to de-stress your nervous system. De-stress your nervous system. This was such a game changer for me. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But de-stressing your nervous system is such a game changer for helping rebalance your hormones. Because otherwise, you could be doing all this, you could be on medications. You know, you could be on the semaglutides and the Ozempics and all that stuff. You could even be taking adaptogens, and they'll help for sure. But if you don't de-stress your nervous system, like your nervous system is still stuck in survival mode, you're still going to be in these patterns, okay? Okay. And ashwagandha does increase testosterone as well as maca, which is a great thing for a lot of women, okay? So here's the thing, because you'd be like, well, PCOS, you have high testosterone, blah, 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 right? The great thing about adaptogens, and I'm not saying adaptogens work for everybody in every scenario, okay? I'm just telling you what science shows, okay? But the beautiful thing about adaptogens is they help your hormones adapt. Okay, so it's not necessarily going to spike everything, but sometimes it just needs to be re-regulated. Okay, how do I de-stress my nervous system? So that's going to bring me into point 2. So point 2, so the first point that we talked about, if you're over 40, you want to lose weight, we need to, balance the hormones. And then the second thing we need to do is actually work on your inner healing of your nervous system. Now, this is a missing piece I see with so many women. Okay, I was like this as well. All right, so what happens, especially women 40 and up, even in your 30s, you've gone through stuff, right? Like, let's just keep it real. You've gone through traumas, you've gone through losses, you've gone through financial stress, you've gone through relationship stress. A lot of you have been through divorces already, breakups, maybe you're widowed like I was. You had daddy issues, right? You had all this stuff over the years. You might have lost businesses, lost money, right? A lot of you have gone through abuse and trauma, and a lot of us just never dealt with it. Widowed, see, another person widowed. I was widowed too. Thankfully, I'm happily remarried now, but I didn't get remarried until I healed this, and that was my nervous system, okay? So I start off with healing my hormones, because I just wanted to feel better, and I didn't want it to be in a depression, and I wanted to get rid of my gut issues that I've had for years, and I had hormonal acne for years, and I had horrible PMS, like crippling pain PMS. So once I got my hormones balanced, I already felt a million times better. So I say it's always a starting point for women. But then the second piece is healing your nervous system. So what does that mean? Okay. Oh, you girls are amazing. I love you so, so much. Okay. So your nervous system it's another part of the subconscious part of you. Your nervous system's job is to keep you alive. That's it. You know, the whole fight or flight part of you, its purpose is to keep you alive. So what happens is if you've gone through a lot of trauma, if you've gone through loss, which is pretty much anyone, like if you've made it to 40 years old, you've gone through a loss. Like, let's just be real. Okay, you've either lost money or you've lost a relationship or you've had major marriage issues or something, right? And what happens is we just store it in our energy. We store it in our nervous system. And we're taught to just keep going. So that's why so many women are in their masculine energy. They're doing mode, the hustle mode, the grinding mode. Like, no one can hurt me. I'll just get tougher and stronger, and I'm just going to keep going mode, right? Is that anyone, or was that just me and all the women in my community, right? So what happens is at a head level, you know what to do. So at the head level, you know, I should probably go to bed earlier. You know, I should probably, I really want to start this business. Or I know I need to skill up and go back to school or start on social media. Or, I want to start dating again. Or I need to do something to fix my marriage. Or I want to have a better, intimacy life in my marriage. It's like you know all these things at a head level, but your nervous system is not doing it. It's like you're procrastinating. Is that anyone? Thank you. You're always so well dressed. Thank you. I appreciate it. This was my birthday outfit. My husband took me to an amazing place for my birthday, and it was amazing, and we went shopping. Yes, so is that anyone else? Anyone else struggle with procrastination? This is a major, major sign that your nervous system is actually dysregulated. Is that anyone else? So let me tell you why this is, okay? And this set me free from shame because I thought it's just me, and it's not. So procrastination is actually a trauma response at a nervous system level. So what the nervous system does, because it's all subconscious, remember, your nervous system is programmed to keep you alive. It does not care if you are rich. It does not care if you're in a healthy marriage. It doesn't care if you date or you don't date. It doesn't care if you go to the gym. It doesn't care if you eat properly. Like, your nervous system does not care. It's only programmed to keep you alive. And it thinks it's keeping you alive by keeping you in your familiar zone. So what's normal for you? So if you have been raised or you've gone through situations where you were in unhealthy relationships, so unhealthy marriages, unhealthy just relationships, period, and that was normal for you, or dad wasn't in your life, or he was in your life and then out of your life, and that was normal for you, that got programmed into your nervous system. If it was normal for you growing up to not have money or to just get by, or maybe it was normal to have money, like your parents had money, but there was so much stress and tension around money. Like, money is a super stressful thing. Guess what? That got programmed into your nervous system. If it got programmed into your nervous system that you need to work hard to make money, guess what? That's where your nervous system is programmed to. And it's all subconscious. So then what happens is at a head knowledge, you're like, okay, I want to look good. I want to start dating again. I want to improve my marriage. I want to start that business. I want to make more money. But your nervous system is programmed to that old version of you. And so it feels like this uphill battle because you're like, why am I procrastinating? I just need more discipline. Why do I keep having all this drama? Why do I get money and then lose it? Why do I lose the weight and then gain it all back? Why do I keep attracting the same type of guys that cause me stress? Am I talking to anybody right now? Let me know in the comments if this is resonating with anybody right now. Okay? So this gets wired into your nervous system. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Women need to see that they're not the only ones struggling with this, because this is why women hide in shame. And they think that they just have an issue with procrastinating, and that's not the issue. Or you have an issue with your weight, and it's just you're big boned, and it's just your genetics. No, babe, it's not. Okay? This is why I get so passionate about this. Yes, this resonates so much. So what we do with the women in my community, my programs, even in my weight loss programs, I have an inner healing aspect of it, because your weight, babe, is just mirroring, reflecting back to you what's going on inside of you. That's it. There's nothing actually wrong with you. I love your passion. I know I get so passionate about this stuff because I love you and I care about you, and I see the transformations that my women have, and so I know what I'm talking about. Like, I know that this works, and I know that you're struggling and feeling stuck and frustrated, and you think you're just procrastinating, but you're not. It's just your nervous system is dysregulated, your hormones are dysregulated, and you feel like this is like an uphill battle for you, right? So what I help women do is re-regulate their nervous system. So a lot of it is just letting go of the crap you've been holding on to that has been stored in your nervous system for years, from childhood, from the daddy issues, the mom issues, the just self-image issues, stuff from past relationships, just stress that you've been through, business stress, money stress, all of that. We release it. We do a lot of nervous system re-regulating. Lots of just mindset. So someone's like, how do you do it? I do a lot of audios. So basically the girls that come into my programs, and I don't know how many girls that are in my programs are on this live stream. You can chime in the comment section or on there too. But it's just a lot of brainwashing. Literally a lot of brainwashing with audios. So most of my programs are just audios. And we basically are just re-regulating your nervous system. And then we do a lot of inner healing where you just release the blocks that you've been holding on to. And you know what's so crazy? And you can sign up for this, by the way. The link is in the bio. It's in my Feminine Energy Academy. Changed my life. So Liz, right there. Liz in 30 days lost 13 pounds without exercise. It's emotional weight. So most women that I've worked with, I've never worked with a woman that was struggling with her weight that wasn't holding on to something emotionally, right? Because everything in the physical realm is just mirroring the energetic realm, the spiritual realm. So if you're holding on to stuff emotionally that you haven't processed because you just were never taught, you're going to see it in your body. So typically you're going to see it in your belly area. You're going to see it with belly weight, and you're going to see it in gut issues, like digestive issues. So if you find that you're having a lot of gut issues and hormone issues, I promise you, and it's stubborn, like you've tried doing things and nothing's working, I promise you if there's something emotionally that you're holding on to that you need to release. And once you release it, babe, oh my gosh, you're going to feel like a new woman. You're going to feel like weight has been lifted off of you, the weight falls off, and you feel so good about yourself. Pure emotional weight. I didn't exercise or change my eating. See, there you go. And Liz is a mom of 3 and a business owner. She's also a feminine energy coach. Okay? I have a lot of coaches in my programs. Okay, so yeah. So just to summarize, and then I'll get into your guys' questions. What time did I start? Okay, yeah, like 10 more minutes. Okay, so just to summarize, over 40, weight loss, there's 2 things I want you to really focus on, 2 things that I focus on that help women get really good results, and it has nothing to do with going to the gym or dieting. The number 1 thing is re-regulating your hormones, and number 2 thing is re-regulating your nervous system, like really healing your nervous system. Okay, otherwise you're gonna feel like you're yo-yoing with your weight, and not only your weight in your relationships, and not only that, but money stress, because all 3 of those things are related to each other. Okay, so anyway, like I said, I have a 90-day. So if you want to end the year strong, right? Like just think it's 2024. How do you want to end the year? Maybe this year wasn't the greatest for you. Maybe it was stressful, but just think it's Christmas time. You want to look good at those events. You want to look good on New Year's, right? You want to get in that cute dress. You want to end this year strong and take that energy into the new year, right? You don't want to wait till January 1st to do another New Year's resolution and then feel horrible about yourself again, right? No, you need structure, you need systems, but most importantly is you need to focus on those things that I just told you, which is your hormones and your nervous system. And I teach you girls how to do all those things in my Feminine Energy Academy with my 90-day hormone cortisol detox weight loss program. Okay, so the link's in bio. So let me take a sip of water and answer some of your guys' questions. Oh, I love you girls so, so much. This is awesome. Okay. What if you can't afford it right now? I would say this, babe. Believe that you can afford it. Like, pray, ask God to give you the money to manifest this. That's how much I believe this is going to change your life. If it's $39, like if you can't afford $39 to invest into your health, then there's deeper issues there. You're going to stay in that cycle. And I mean, you don't have to work with me. You can go do whatever you want. Like, I'm just giving an affordable option for women. But you need to invest into you, babe. So back in 2019, when I lost my late husband to cancer, and I was a mess. I did not look like this at all, okay? I was a physical, emotional, and a hormonal mess. And my nervous system was beyond traumatized, okay? Beyond traumatized. Like, I was triggered and anxious about absolutely everything. And but the one thing I did right is I invested into my healing, okay? So you are your greatest asset. Whether you decide to work with me or not, that's okay. I want you to hear this message, okay, babe? You are your greatest asset. How you look and how you feel hormonally and in your nervous system influences every area of your life. It influences your health, like you actually being alive. It affects your relationships in dating and marriage, and it affects your money flow, okay? So my greatest encouragement to women that are struggling right now to get yourself out of that situation is you have to invest into you, whatever that looks like, because everything around you is mirroring you, is your energy. So if you're stuck in these patterns with relationship stress, money stress, hormone stress, weight stress, you're going to stay stuck in these patterns until the common denominator changes, and that common denominator is you, babe. Okay? And I love you. You know that. Hello from Wisconsin. What's up? I love it. Okay, let me answer your guys' questions though. I'm going to go over here first. And let's see. Can you talk about habits to gain feminine energy? I love it. I can answer that. I struggled with procrastinating after a horrible relationship. Okay, I want to talk about that. And then habits, because those two things, I've been neglecting people over here. So, and then another question, how can an athlete be in her, I think it's supposed to be feminine energy. I love dress, but when I work on my passion, I'm in my masculine zone too. Oh, I love it. I love your guys' questions. Okay, I'm going to answer these questions. So, okay. All these questions are related, by the way. So I'm going to answer this one question first because it's so common. When I talk about feminine energy, you hear a lot of people talk about feminine energy, you think that you have to totally neglect your masculine energy side. No, you don't. I have a very well-developed masculine energy that I love and I still tap into, okay? So masculine energy, for people that don't know, is like the doing, right? It's that head knowledge. Think of the sperm. It's going, it's chasing, it's goal-oriented, it works hard, it's hustling, it's competitive. That's your masculine energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can still embrace that. Girl, I have my black belt in karate, okay? Like, if that's not masculine energy, I don't know what is, okay? So, and I lift weights. I love lifting weights. I will never stop lifting weights. But what you want to do is you just don't want to be in that energy all the time. So I have a lot of women in my community that are doctors, that are realtors, that are in finance, that are coaches as well, or are tech people, people that we have to use a lot of intellect. That's masculine energy. Okay, if you're a boss, if you're a leader, that's all head masculine energy. It's not a bad thing. You still can use that, right? Like, we don't want to suppress that. But it's how you flow in and out of it is just awareness. And you have to consciously make that decision to get out of your head and back into your body. So that leads me to the second question that somebody asked over here is, what are some tips to get into your feminine energy? So I actually have 30 ways. I call it my toolkit, my feminine energy toolkit for my ladies in my Feminine Energy Academy. And it's 30 ways to get into your feminine energy. But a couple of things that will help you is this, okay? Number one is giving yourself permission to rest. That's going to help with the cortisol hormone issues, but it's going to help you with your feminine energy, and it's going to help you with your nervous system. A lot of women, especially moms, struggle with taking naps. Moms and business owners, I find, are notorious for this, where they won't give themselves permission to take naps without feeling guilty about it. And the other thing is they feel guilty, or not feel guilty, but they'll sabotage their progress by staying up all night. So then your hormones are out of whack. You're going to be exhausted. That's one thing. Another thing is just practicing receiving. So just be aware. Just check yourself. Do you allow people to help you? How are you with receiving compliments? How are you with receiving help? Do you ask for help, or are you the overgiver? So like little shifts like that will help you get into your feminine energy. Another simple thing is just having more fun in your life, being more playful. Now, if your nervous system hasn't done any inner healing and you're easily triggered and you're always anxious, then we got to do a little bit more inner healing of your blocks. And once you do that, that's what happens with the girls in my community, is all of a sudden they start feel fun and more light, like more playful, because they're out of their head. Okay? It's not something you can intellectualize. Feminine energy is not something you intellectualize. It's an embodiment, meaning your body. This is why feminine energy influences your hormones and your nervous system, because it's not something you can intellectualize. It's something that's happening behind the scenes without you controlling it. Is that making sense? Let me know. And then someone else asked another really good question. Okay, breakups. Okay, let me answer a couple breakup questions, because we're getting a few breakup questions. I love this. Okay. So somebody asked, how come I always procrastinate, or like after my breakup, let me backtrack for a second. So she said, after my breakup, my relationship breakup, I found myself always procrastinating. Okay, so so for my ladies that have been through a divorce, or any sort of trauma, divorce falls in that category, any sort of loss, and even just a breakup. Why do you find yourself always procrastinating? Once again, it's that trauma response. So the nervous system hasn't healed because you weren't taught to heal. And then so the nervous system does this clever thing of self-sabotage to avoid the thing that you're actually calling in. So the nervous system the procrastination is to pull you back to keep you safe in your familiar zone. So even though you have all these goals and these desires, January 1st is coming up. I'm sure you're going to have goals and desires with money and with your body, or maybe you want to date again, but you're procrastinating. You're avoiding it because the nervous system does not feel safe to receive what it is you're calling in. So that's why another strategy is not going to help you until you heal your nervous system first. Okay, so and this was me too, this is how I finally discovered this. It's like I kept spending all my money on different strategies to help me, and I kept repeating the same patterns over and over and over again, procrastination, avoidance, all this stuff. And then once I healed my nervous system and healed my blocks, my receiving blocks, everything changed. I got unstuck and I was able to manifest all my goals and desires this year. Okay, and this is why I'm so passionate about this, helping other women with this. So if you truly feel like you've tried everything and you still are repeating the same patterns over and over and over again, or you still just notice the same things keep happening in your life with men, with money, and with your body, I promise you, babe, it's something to do with your nervous system that we just got to heal off of you, and it's going to change that pattern for you. Okay? You guys are amazing. Once again, I do nervous system re-regulating, hormone re-regulating, and help you with your feminine energy in my Feminine Energy Academy. Okay, the link is in the bio. You can jump in. I have well over 100 women already in there, and they're seeing breakthroughs within a week. I just had a lady just post yesterday, her first week in here. She's already lost 5 pounds, and she's already met a new guy that is amazing. Okay? All right, I'll answer a couple more questions. Okay, I think I answered that. Okay, I answered that. And I answered that. All right. Okay, I think I've answered most of the questions over here. Okay. Do you guys have any questions over here? I'll be looking to your course because I need to re-regulate my nervous system. Yes, babe. I have a money back guarantee, and I've never once had to give my do a refund, by the way. That's how much I know it's going to help you. Okay? So just think, how do I want to end this year? I think it's December right now. You have events to go to, New Year's events to go to. How do you want to look and feel in your outfits? What type of people do you want to meet? Do you want to keep repeating the same money patterns, the same eating patterns, the same hormone patterns? Or do you want to break these patterns for good? Right? You literally have nothing to lose. Okay? And you don't only get me, you get my husband too, Coach B. Coach B is in there, and he's helping the women as well, answering your dating questions, your relationship questions, all of that. Okay? Yeah, we're breaking these patterns. We are, see Coach B, there he is, right? He's there, we're doing this together. You get the healed feminine version, and you get the healed masculine version. And in the entire Feminine Energy Academy, we work on I have a whole section on your hormones and weight loss. I even teach you girls the stomach vacuuming, okay, to tighten up the core so you can feel good in your body again, right? And then I have a whole section on divine dating for marriage, where I teach you rotational dating, and I teach you how to call in provider energy husband. I have a lot of women in there that are also married, and I teach you how to be more in your feminine energy to help you in the area of your marriage. I've seen so many marriages turn around. And then I have all the nervous system re-regulating stuff, all the audios to help re-regulate your nervous system. And I have an entire section on healing your money blocks so you can become a relaxed money magnet. So I have a lot of business owners in there, a lot of coaches in there, and a lot of women that are in jobs but are transitioning into their own business. And so a lot of that is re-regulating your nervous system to feel safe, to be seen by more people, so you can call in more money and better quality clients. Okay? What if you don't need that? No more marriages. I would say you don't need anything related. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the marriage part. Sorry, I got it. Focus on your hormones and your nervous system. Okay? Because that's still going to affect your money flow and your business. All right? It's a monthly subscription. But try it for a month, and if you don't like it, just cancel it. No big deal. Right? And if you're not completely happy, we'll happily give you your money back. No big deal. Yeah, you can cancel anytime. All right, guys, I love you so much. I gotta run because my kids are doing sports. We're homeschooling as well. We're traveling around, living our best life. And yeah, I will see you girls. Also, once you get in the Feminine Energy Academy, you can private message me and tell me exactly what you're struggling with hormones, with nervous system, with feminine energy, with dating, with marriage, and I will give you my personal recommendations in the feminine energy, okay? On Saturday, we're doing a masterclass with Coach B on dating, okay? Dating and marriages. And what else do I want to tell you guys? Yeah, every Saturday we do a masterclass on that as well. And then also right now we're doing a 90-day hormone weight loss challenge where I also help you re-regulate your cortisol, and we do nervous system healing as well, okay? So you can not be repeating the same patterns over and over again. Anyway, girls, I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon.